Can I get a roll call, members, please?
Grant Muller,
Here.
Dan Sheets,
Here.
Andy Bailey is absent, Walt Minnick,
Here.
Jeff Chenoweth,
Here.
Chad Colby,
Here.
Kevin Myers.
Here.
Staff members Liz Stitzel and Kat Bell are present. Attorney Jay Moore is absent.
Okay. So now going to the election of officers.
Yeah, so you are currently the only officer that you need to elect as a president, but if you move one of your current officers into the president's position, then you'll need to subsequently make appointments until you have all three positions filled.
Okay.
So just let us know what you want to do. Go from there.
Okay. Does anybody have interest in being president?
Apparently not. I would nominate the vice president for the president. If he's willing.
Does that make my pay go up?
Yes, he does.
Doubles it.
I need it.
Increase.
I got to pay for a wedding, so I need it. I'd be happy to.
You're going to need to multiply it many more
I
times.
know.
for it.
I know.
Okay, so Dan nominated Grant.
I'll second that if we need a second.
Okay, so voting to nominate Grant as president. Grant Muller, you're probably going to abstain. I'm
I was going to
guessing.
say I'll abstain.
Dan Sheets,
Yes.
Walt Minnick,
Yes.
Jeff Chenoweth,
Yes.
Chad Colby,
Yes.
Kevin Myers.
Yes.
Okay, so 5-0. Grant, you are now president, which means we now need a vice president.
Okay. Anybody have it?
You want to be VP?
Yeah, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
I-
I'm not ready.
Yeah.
You don't want to be VP?
No.
I would accept the VP position.
Okay.
And who was my,
Nobody seconded it, I don't
well,
believe.
who was the motion?
I'll make a motion.
Everybody second.
Okay, Grant was my motion and,
I'll second that. Yeah.
okay. Not all at once, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. Dan, are you abstaining?
No, I'll vote for myself. I'm
Okay,
not voting.
perfect. Then we'll start at the top. Grant Muller,
Yes.
Dan Sheets,
Yes.
Walt Minnick,
Yes.
Jeff Chenoweth,
Yes.
Chad Colby,
Yes.
Kevin Myers.
Yes.
Dan, you were secretary, right?
Yes.
Yes, so now to complete us out, we need a new secretary. You know, the person who's absent is the,
Well, I will nominate Jeff.
I'll second.
Dan made the motion, and then Kevin seconded.
okay, Grant Muller,
Yes.
Dan Sheets,
Yes.
Walt Minnick,
Yes.
Jeff Chenoweth,
Yes.
Chad Colby,
Yes.
Kevin Myers.
Yes.
All right, you guys are set till January.
All right.
Move these to you. One thing
Do you guys all have a chance?
Sign those.
Does anybody have any issues or problems with the minutes, or can I get a motion to approve?
You've got the May minutes first,
Okay.
because you didn't have enough people here at the last meeting who were there at the May meeting and felt comfortable
Okay.
adopting them.
I would move we adopt the May minutes as written.
I'll second.
Okay, Grant Muller,
Yes.
Dan Sheets,
Yes.
Walt Minnick,
Yes.
Jeff Chenoweth.
I was not here for that meeting.
Legally, you can go either way, so I can abstain you. That works.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Chad Colby,
Yes.
Kevin Myers.
Abstain.
Okay, 4-0.
So now we have the June minutes.
You do.
Okay.
No, actually, July.
July, I
minutes.
meant.
We didn't have a June.
Okay.
Those are the two. Well, yeah, those are the-
Do you guys have any issues with the July minutes?
I do not. I recommend that we, or make a motion to approve the July minutes.
Walt seconded.
Grant Muller.
Can't remember if I was at that meet. Do you remember?
I
Do you have the?
I don't think
There
you
was
were.
okay. Then I'll. There was one I couldn't remember.
say normally I have a
You were
copy
not.
sitting
I
here.
wasn't. Okay.
Well, I give
Okay.
you the-
Oh, Dan has the secret as to whether or not you were at that meeting
Okay.
down by him.
I will abstain then.
Dan Sheets,
Yes.
Walt Minnick,
Yes.
Jeff Chenoweth,
Yes.
Todd Colby,
Yes.
Kevin Myers.
Abstain.
Well, you're off to a big start.
4-0. All right.
All right. So no old business, so we'll move on to our public hearings for the night. First one is application CC-2025-00648, docket number 10-25-SD. Can you take us through that, please, Liz?
Can. So this is the application of Randall Nick, and this is a request for primary approval for a one-lot minor subdivision for a single house. The name is Neal Minor Subdivision. This is zoned agriculturally, as is the land surrounding it. So this proposed petition site has about a 10-acre area on the north side of West Gusline Road. It's between North Hamilton Road and North County Road 700 West in Section 22 of Madison Township. It's a first split off a 60.8 acre parent tract. The site is farm ground, and a family member of the deeded owner is wanting to build here and be able to raise goats that are currently at another dwelling in this location and have a farmstead. The petitioner, Randall Nick, is representing the family with the process, and there is a written permission that was provided from the owner allowing him to do so. The remainder of the parent tract was sold separately to someone who will continue to farm it as cropland. The petition site is surrounded by agricultural. The home site is not within any legal watershed. It has a couple soil tests, Fincastle silt and Cyclone silt. The petitioner is requesting primary plat approval. The standard rural development protection language is in the covenants. The surveyor's office provided a drainage board waiver for the proposed lot on March 30th of 2025. The health department approved the new lot as suitable for a septic system. It will require a perimeter drain, which has been located and is shown on the plat. A drainage easement exists and is shown on the plat to allow for an outlet to the rear. And there is enough fall for the tile to run the length of the easement and outlet without causing any issue. County Highway has no objection to a drive to access the new lot, and the reciprocal enforcement clause in the covenants is included and can be initiated by any adjacent landowner within a quarter mile. In terms of standards of the ordinance, since in the case of subdivisions, they must be approved if they meet the standards and must be denied if they do not. The two that are applicable in this case that aren't, we haven't verified or met by looking at the plat would be the restrictive covenants. So these were provided to Jay to review for legal soundness and proper preparation. We had not gotten any changes noted from him, so as long as they meet his satisfaction, that should be met. As he's not here at the moment, I would recommend, as is in the recommendation at the bottom, that we definitely include a clause for Jay's review if there's something we don't know about. And then 703.04, the subdivision name needs to not duplicate or too closely approximate another name of a subdivision in Clinton County. So the proposed request is Neal Minor Subdivision, and that may create some conflict. There is already a subdivision named Matt Neal Edition. The recorder's office noted that what sometimes happens is the first names get dropped off, and minor subdivision is rarely referenced in the name, and sort of gets inadvertently referred to as addition. So both of these could easily be referred to by somebody as the Neal Edition, despite some minor differences in between them, and that could create confusion. So the recorder's office and staff does recommend the board may want to discuss with the petitioner the name choice, and if there's perhaps some other options to further distinguish it from other Neal editions, or if the board feels that it's different enough that there's no duplication and any confusion might be minor. Consequently, because it meets all the standards, staff would recommend granting primary approval of the minor subdivision, provided that the covenants meet J. Moore's satisfaction, and the question about the subdivision name is resolved.
Okay, thank you. Is petitioner here this evening? Would you like to add anything, sir? Can you go to that mic and then just state your name, please? Thank you.
Hi, my name's Randall Nick. I'm the petitioner for this subdivision. Kat made us aware of the name, potential conflict, and so we can update that to something. We've got a couple ideas that we can take the recorder and just make sure that they're fine with it. We had proposed the Neal-George subdivision, and that would get another name in there, and it's actually another name of it's actually the gentleman that will own the property. And then we'll, as you've mentioned, make sure that the attorney's happy with the language that we've got. And as far as I know, that's all we really need at this point to button it up.
Okay. No, that sounds good. Is there anybody else in the audience that'd like to add anything?
As a neighbor down the road?
Can you-
Is it just one house still?
One house.
Okay.
Okay, so for the YouTube recording, someone in the audience who is a neighbor down the road asked for clarification if this was just one house, and the applicant and the board both responded that it is.
Okay.
And I guess just for general information, if later somebody wanted to add more houses, that would have to come back through a process and you would receive notice over again. So there's no way to like somehow take it in one lot minor subdivision and turn it into something else. It requires a whole new set of hearings. So I just always make sure people know that. To us, it's not similar at all. If you add more lots, that makes it a different hearing.
Is there anybody else that would like to add anything? Okay. Turn it to board discussion.
I have no issues with it, and I would move for approval of this subdivision with the name change to Neil-George, and to make sure it satisfies Jay Moore's legal opinion.
I'll second that.
So Dan moved, then Walt seconded. Once you're done.
Is that George, like George of the Jungle, or George like? Sorry, not to. But I want to make sure it's with a G, not with a J.
Roll call vote once you're done, please.
So that was Dan and Walt. Grant Mueller,
Yes.
Dan Sheets,
Yes.
Walt Minnick,
Yes.
Jeff Chanelwood,
Yes.
Chad Colby,
Yes.
Kevin Myers.
Yeah.
Right, approved 6-0. So you'll be able to move on to secondary planning.
And you guys don't have to stay around if you don't want to.
You came for that. Feel free to go find food.
All right, never mind. Move on to our second public hearing of the night. I'll give them a minute. Okay. So our second public hearing of the night is application CC-2025-00666, docket number 11-25-SD. Can you please take us through that, Liz?
Yes, so this is the application of Michael and Angela Dickey. It's a request again for a single house, requesting primary approval. This site, we don't see too many of these because so much of the county is ag, but this site is actually zoned residentially and already predetermined to be a location for houses. So it did not go through the point system or a BZA approval. What's around it is a mix of some rural residentially zoned land and some agriculturally zoned land with houses in it that are either approved by special exception or predated the ordinance. So the petition site consists of a 1.692 acre residential lot on the south side of East County Road 100 North between North State Road 29 and North 730 East in Section 2 of Michigan Township. It's less than a quarter mile east of Clinton Central School, and it was split from the farm ground to the south in 2007, but never went through the subdivision process to complete making it buildable. Because it was a split, and it's less than 20 acres, it's subject to the subdivision ordinance. Petitioners recently purchased the lot and discovered when they came in to apply for the house permit, since it was residentially zoned, that they needed to get this taken care of before they'd be able to proceed. So the new home site is within the Brant Talbert Walker legal watershed. There's a mix of Fincastle Crosby and Miami Crosby silt loam soils. The petitioner is requesting primary plat approval for a single lot with one house. The rural development protection language is included in the covenants. The surveyor's office stated the drainage board approved the request on June 17th of 2025 after having reviewed it. The health department has approved the lot is suitable for a septic system, and it will require a perimeter drainage outlet that does have enough fall on the plat for that to outlet properly. The highway department has no objection to the drive, and the reciprocal enforcement clause in the covenants is included and can be initiated by adjacent landowners within a quarter mile. Again, when we look at the standards of the ordinance, there's two primary ones of these one-lot minor subdivisions that we end up looking at. One is that the restrictive covenants are properly prepared and legally sound and are incorporated into the plat. So these were also sent to Jay Moore to review, and we had not heard anything back from him on changes. So as long as they meet his satisfaction, it shouldn't be an issue. However, staff did let the land surveyor know, we've talked about this on other cases, we often recommend that people not adopt covenants that are more restrictive than the zoning ordinance is, because then something changes and they have to replat the whole property instead of just going through the Board of Zoning Appeals for whatever they want. So in this case, they have an overly restrictive clause 1 in the covenants. That would mean if somebody wanted to have a home occupation like Mary Kay or a home office, or, there's a lot of different things that can fall under that. Even a small home occupation, the covenants would not allow, even though there'd be a way to approve that within the zoning ordinance. So we did let the land surveyor know and would recommend that they amend that. However, we would also point out that if they wish to ban all home occupations, even small things like a pampered chef or anything like that, they do have the right to do that. It's just we don't want them to be surprised if they then go to do something and find that they can't. The second item is a subdivision name, and that it shall not duplicate or too closely approximate names of other recorded subdivisions. So having checked with the county recorder, there's no other subdivision with the name Dickey County Road 100 North minor plat or anything even close to it already recorded, so that would appear to be met. Consequently, staff would recommend to grant primary approval of the minor subdivision because it meets the subdivision standards, with the condition that the covenants meet Jay Moore's satisfaction. And if the applicant is wishing to change that clause, then I would certainly recommend that we also make it contingent on that, so they're able to do that between primary and secondary.
Okay. This petitioner here this evening, would you like to add anything, sir?
Well, I didn't understand
Would you,
all that.
To the microphone.
would you mind going to the microphone and stating your name?
Yes, I'm Michael Dickey, and that's my wife Angie. I didn't understand all that about the petitioning, but could you, do I need to understand that?
Yes, so there's a clause in your proposed covenants from your surveyor. Most of it is typical. It basically says that this is designed for a house. But they've added an additional sentence that it may not have any commercial businesses other than agricultural businesses, which actually I would point out, being this is residentially zoned, you can't have agricultural businesses on it per the zoning ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
But we do allow people to come and request permission for small home-based businesses.
Okay.
So if you happened someday, if somebody happened to own that house who wanted to do something small and unobstructive inside the house, but that was generating some kind of line of income,
Okay.
you could get that approved, assuming it wasn't going to change your residential character by our ordinance.
Okay.
But if your covenants say you can't have any commercial businesses, then you won't be able to get it approved because you'd be in violation of your covenants. So we would recommend you would just change that to either modify it and say other than home occupations as approved by the zoning ordinance, or just kind of take out the additional clause. But
Okay.
we just recommend you not restrict yourself further than what the law restricts you.
Yeah.
Especially in a one-lot minor subdivision where you don't have neighbors that are in the same subdivision that,
Yeah.
somebody's decided, well, we're not gonna let anybody sell Mary Kay and live in their house here,
There's-
whatever it is.
The only, what this is going to be is it's a pole barn. We're going to have a small living quarter in one end of it, and the rest of it's going to be for, I've got my 5th grandchild coming in the county, and we live an hour and a half away, and I want them to have a place to go and play in my pole barn, and we need a place to stay while we're up here. The only thing that my son-in-law has talked about maybe planting some pumpkins around there and maybe selling a few pumpkins. Is that a problem with something?
So that would technically be considered a home occupation in
Okay.
that case,
So we need to
but
do what you're
But I
saying.
would also point out that, like, even though your intentions might be that, if you were to sell the land to somebody, or your heirs were to inherit that land, and they might have different plans 25 years from now, covenants run with the land permanently.
Yeah.
So it would affect everybody in the future who owned that unless they came back through this process again to modify it.
So what do we need to do to start that progress?
You would just ask your surveyor to change
Change
the
that
first
wording?
clause on this. The board would just need to note with their motion that you can go ahead and take care of that, and that change is okay in the secondary plat.
I did bring that
So-
to John's attention on that.
Okay,
as well.
so he knows something about-
He's aware of that situation, because we had one come up last month, or,
Okay.
yeah, I think it was last meeting, that had the same situation.
So that's-
He changed it and.
Not a problem to have him go ahead and change that and get it
No,
taken
He's
care of.
probably already changed it,
Okay,
honestly, but
okay.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
For a fact, I didn't get a revised.
We just try to make sure
Understand.
people don't accidentally shoot themselves in the foot,
Yeah,
not knowing.
yeah. Oh, believe me,
If
I've
we've
shot
seen-
myself
I mean,
in the
we've
foot
seen other
before.
people do it, so.
I need people to look after me sometime because I do some silly things, but not that silly. Anyway, so do I need to add anything else?
Not unless you want to.
Not unless you have any questions or.
No,
anything
I
else.
don't. I don't think so. I'm just eager to move forward on building something there. And I come from Park County, and there's no building permits in Park County. And when I came up here, somebody warned me when I bought that. They said, "Well, just so you know, the story is it takes longer to get permission to build in Clinton County than it does to actually build." And I thought they were joking, but the process, because in Park County, I mean, I'm a farmer, and we just put up a bin, we put up a shed. I haven't built a house, but you just build what you want on your property. And then this isn't nearly as complicated as Hendricks County, I understand, but it is much more complicated than Park County. So that's just where we're at. So anyway, thank you. I hope it works out.
Yep, thanks, sir. Is there anybody else in the audience who'd like to add anything? Okay,
Grant, I do need to add one thing that I missed.
okay,
So we did, and I think we sent this to you guys, but we did receive a letter of concern, objection, and in the interest of not having to read it into the record, did you guys all receive this when it was emailed to you, and did you read it?
I did.
yes.
Okay, so then I will simply summarize it. So this is somebody who evidently lives across the road. They're unable to be here tonight. They noted that they purchased their house in 2022, and they like the fact that they can see the railroad, which is about, it looks like somewhere between a half mile and a mile to the south. It's a pretty significant distance. I was puzzled at first, but I did realize they probably can when I went and looked at the maps, you know, if the crops aren't in. So they had a series of questions, which Kat did speak to them on the phone and tried to answer, but since it was asked to the board, they asked how many homes are planned for construction, because they thought maybe there was a duplex or an apartment, and there's only one home planned for construction or permitted. And technically, I guess somebody could apply for a duplex, but that would require another hearing through the BZA. That's not part of the applicant's plans or any filing that's been given to us. She asked what the projected work hours are for construction, so we don't control that. The contractor would decide when they were working or not working on building that house. So I wouldn't anticipate we would attempt to regulate that. Unfortunately, you know, it just kind of is what it is. Although I would note Clinton Central School has major construction projects going on right now that are probably much bigger and much louder, which is right next door. She asked who will be responsible for cleaning up debris or damage caused to her property across the road during construction. So I guess I would note, typically we don't see everybody who's a neighbor's property damaged when someone builds a single house. However, legally speaking, Jay's not here, but my understanding is usually if you take damage from a neighbor's activities, then you would need to hire an attorney, and that would become a civil matter that you would have to pursue if something is happening between two neighbors that's creating damage. And then she said, why is construction being proposed in an already established residential area? So this is residentially zoned, it is a residential area. Unfortunately, the fact that someone already lives there doesn't mean that every other house can't be there. It's a spot where there are supposed to be houses, and in this case, it's actually zoned residentially, so this isn't even an agricultural one that went through the BZA. Somebody could apply to put a whole lot more houses than this here, and it would still be permitted by zoning. So I think that answered the question. She did note there, you know, kudos. A lot of people don't read the full land description, but she noted there was an error the surveyor had made in stating Boone County in the plat. Kat did let the surveyor know that, and it was a typo on his part, so he is correcting that to Clinton County, and she was correct. There was something off in the paperwork there. And then she did supply an update that she believes that she'll have flooding as a result of this house because her garden and creek become saturated to where they can't use it till it dries out, and wants to know if the drainage is gonna be updated to avoid issues. Dan can probably speak more to this, but there is a floodplain near there. It's not designated on the map, it kind of cuts up to the north. But there's a waterway, but it is actually on the opposite side, further away from both this home site and the neighbor's site. I assume the drainage board looked at whether or not this would drain appropriately,
We
but she
did
did
that.
have that concern.
We did that originally, and then after I received her letter today, I did check that floodplain on our portal and confirmed it is behind her home. I do not see this causing any problem for her. The way the land lays, it should not be an issue. And also looking at your zoning map, I believe that side of the road is zoned agricultural, is that
It
correct?
is. Yep, the north side is
Actually-
agricultural, the south side is
Yeah,
residential.
they're not actually in a residential area.
Yep, they are in a area that had houses before zoning came along in many
Yeah.
cases, and for whatever reason, to be honest, if we updated the zoning map, we would probably recommend broadening that residential area because it's probably not a great place for a confined feeding operation or a grain handling operation, the way it's developed now. It's probably a much better spot up against the school for houses, if we look at it just philosophically, not specific to like any one case. But yeah, she's ag district, and floodplain would state that she couldn't build in that low area anyway. So that would be the same regardless of whether or not a house was built further away from the floodplain on the other side of the road.
Drainage board is satisfied that there will not be an issue caused to her property.
So anyway, I just wanted to make sure I
Nope,
I
appreciate
represented
it.
that for her.
Okay. Well, I will open it up to board discussion. Do you guys have anything to add or any questions?
I do not.
I don't either. I wanted to get those questions answered after reading the email, but
Sure.
I don't have any issues.
Well, I would, I don't either.
Okay.
I would make a motion to approve this with the contingency of the covenants being changed to protect the homeowner from a home business, or however that would read.
Second.
And then is that subject to Jay's review of the covenants overall, since he's not here to?
Yes, very good.
Roll call vote once you're ready, please.
I'm sorry, who was my second?
Chad.
Oh, it wasn't. Chad.
I thought it was down there, but I thought, well, Jeff was my first. So, all right. Grant Mueller,
Yes.
Dan Sheets,
Yes.
Walt Minnick,
Yes.
Jeff Chenoweth,
Yes.
Chad Colby,
Yes.
Kevin Myers.
Yes.
Okay, so 6-0. That can move on to secondary plotting.
So I will get in touch with John tomorrow, make sure that he's aware of these changes. Also, we have changes with our board members tonight too, so he'll have to make some changes on that too. Because they always have like
Actually, both
who
plats will
the
probably have that.
president and who the secretary is. And so, of course, we had a change with the president, but then we also had a change with the secretary too. So those will have to be changed as well. So John's usually pretty quick about getting those things done and taken care of. And then normally he gives you the secondary.
If we can get him to talk to him, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's hard to catch him on the phone. So,
well, not to hold up the meeting, but what's my next step?
well, once I get a hold of John and let him know these changes or whatever that need to be made, then he'll get a hold of you and say, okay, I've got all those done, it's all good. And then he'll have you come and pick it up. Normally, he just has you pick it up, and then he'll have, either you can have somebody else notarize it, or he'll send them to me and have me notarize it, and then we get signatures on our side with the president and the secretary, and then Liz. And then, once that's all done, then you can come and get it and bring it up to have it recorded.
If you don't hear from John, then you would reach out to him to ask if he has it ready
We've
yet.
reached out to him several times.
Yeah, so just in case, like, it doesn't automatically, like, John's gonna have to give you that plat to file, so.
Welcome to Clinton County.
Well, I'm not gonna be a permanent resident. Well, I don't know, maybe eventually I will.
And since our grandkids are getting older and the oldest starting school, we might be coming up for more activities.
Sure.
I've learned with my son and my daughter both here in the county, Clinton County and Park County are very, very similar in the types of people that are running them and are residing. And it's a good kind of people.
Well,
It's
so
a good kind of
I
people.
was taking it that way.
Yeah. It's,
We just have more hills and hollows.
yeah, we're just not flat.
There you go.
We're just not flat. I tell them, I guess we're probably done here. Right?
Yeah.
You guys can
I tell
go.
them that I didn't appreciate the hills and hollows of Park County until I come up here to visit in the wintertime. And it's like, oh my gosh, I just want to go back with the window blown. You know? Anyway, so, all right, Ken.
All righty.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Do we have any new
Sure will.
business?
We do not have any new business.
Okay. All right, so our next meeting is September 2nd, 2025. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second. Dan moved and Grant seconded.